So I'm just gonna go ahead and kick right into it. If you see me looking down, it's simply because I took a few notes because I don't want to miss anything. So I'll start with the beginning. He actually left on the 19th of August, maybe, and I remember at that period of time it was like a long plane ride and different things of that nature. So each stop I did get a chance to talk to him and everything. That was pretty laid back. I know originally when he left that weekend before the Monday, and so they actually ended up having to go to a hotel and spend the night and swear in and get their physical exams and psychotic exams and all those good stuff taken care of to make sure that they were straight and set to go. So he left, I want to say the 19th and got there on the 20th. With some hiccups in traffic. And a lot of layovers and different things of that nature. But once he got there, he was able to give me a quick call and let me know that he had arrived. It probably was only about a good 10 seconds. All he could say was like, I made it. I'm here. Just calling to let you know. And all I could say was, okay, we love you. Be safe. It was really quick and simple to the point. From there, I want to say I got my DEERS paperwork about a little over a week later. Maybe about 10 days later, I got my DEERS paperwork, and that simply it just had the information that I needed to have in order to get my military ID, which is simply the DD form, and you'll see it once it comes. And it also has the information covering the health insurance, so that was really useful. I was actually able to go ahead and contact TRICARE to see when exactly was the insurance going to go into effect, and it actually did go into effect the day that he made it there. That was the day that it went into effect, so that was good to know. Over the phone they were able to kind of tell me what my fees were and different things of that nature. When you're going to see a specialist versus your primary physician, different things of that nature. And they also assisted me in setting up my account so that way I can kind of go online and see, who was within the network and who wasn't, so I can make sure, if I need to change my son's pediatrician, that was something that I could go ahead and jump on really quickly before, I had to wait and then find out later at the end. So that was really convenient and easy. With the military ID, I was able to go online and I pretty much just Google, like, where do you get your military ID? But the website is www.cac.mil. And so I went to that website. I put my I put my zip code in, and it pretty much gave me all of the different offices in my area. And so from there, I just went ahead and contacted the closest one. I found out that I didn't have to have an appointment. It was pretty much, set up on a first come, first serve basis. And all I had to bring was about 2 proofs of ID. So I just brought like my driver's license and my social. And it was like, it only took maybe about 15 minutes. And probably 10 of that was me waiting for the people that were in front of me to come out. So it was really quick. And they were really helpful over the phone. My first time calling, I was like, I hope I, say everything right and everything. But they were really laid back. It's really family oriented. So from there, I want to say I got my first letter from my soldier in training SIT on the 4th. Now, from where we live and where he's been placed on base, it takes mail to about 3 business days to come. And after that, I think I got the commander's letter, which is basically like the greeting letter, just really kind of giving you an idea of what everything your soldier's going through. I know one thing that kind of stuck out to me was the letter said that their days start at about 5 a.m. and typically don't end until about 9 p.m. And I thought, oh my god. And it just really kind of gave reassurance as far as him being in a safe environment and in good hands and different things of that nature, which was very, very, very good to hear. And it also had information detailing the graduation. So, of course, they had information about the meeting that I believe is held like 2 days before graduation. There's like an evening meeting that they have at a chapel. And then the day before graduation is family day, where I believe there'll be like some sort of activity. And then after the activity, your soldier will be released, to go out with you, and you guys can kind of maybe go to dinner, or they can show you around and different things of that nature. And I do understand that it's like a curfew, so they cannot spend the night. So each night they have to return at a certain time. I want to say 7 p.m. to be on the safe side. And then graduation day, of course, after the ceremony, they get to leave and go with you, but have to be back by a certain time, unless they have to come back immediately. They may have to come back early on graduation day, because it's my understanding that my soldier, because he will be transferred to a different location for his training, so he may have to come back a little bit earlier, as opposed to the people who will still be at the same location for their actual MOS training for their job, for their mission of service, if that makes sense. I know I'm really kind of spinning this out here really fast, but I definitely want to make sure that I'm getting it all in here within a certain amount of time. I don't want this video to be too lengthy. And one thing that I kind of noticed this week, my soldier, he just started getting my mail, and I didn't even realize that, because I had been writing him a lot and asking him specific stuff, and he's like just now starting to like respond to a lot of it. So he's actually just got my mail. It's been like 5 weeks, and he's just started to get my mail. So one thing that I was noticing was a lot of people were getting discouraged, because they were their soldiers were writing them, asking them why weren't they writing, not understanding that it was part of the process, as far as them not getting their mail within the certain amount of time that they felt as though they should. Understanding that your world is pretty much like a 180 during this process, because it's completely different from how it's usually been. So you just have to be kind of flexible, and just understanding that. I think for the most part, me myself personally, I have managed pretty good, pretty decent, better than I've expected these past 5 weeks. It's definitely been intense, just as far as having to cover everything, cover all the bases. When I have moments when I really want to talk, or think something through, most of the time I'm like writing it and I'm jotting it down, and then I'll leave it alone and then come back to it later, just to make sure I have everything covered. That helps a lot. I've also started meditating a lot, to just really keep myself staying mindful, as far as where I am, where I want to be, and taking out this time to really grow and advance myself. I've started a diet. I've gotten a treadmill. I'm really trying to focus on my fitness and my health. And in addition to just really focusing on some things that I also wanted to pursue, to just kind of keep my mind busy, and just keep me afloat. I definitely don't want to get complacent or get down or depressed. And so most of the time I'm usually trying to stay busy. I do work full time, and I have a 10-month-old son, so it gets pretty busy. Usually Junior, my soldier in training, was the one who would get up with our son throughout the night and different things. Usually he would do laundry and different things. Usually if I didn't feel like cooking, he would cook and different things. And so now it's really just kind of, made me step up my game and make sure that, I'm dotting my I's and crossing my T's. And it's definitely an experience that won't always be the same. Not every day will be a happy day. Not every day will be a down day. It just kind of comes and goes in waves. But I can honestly say nights are the hardest, because nights were when we did most of our pillow talk and different things. And so that bit of time together, it definitely has its effect on me. But most times, when I get down or sad, I think about why he made this decision. I think about the fact that this is something that he's always wanted to do. And I just don't feel as though it's my place to discourage him. I don't feel like it's my place to be weak when he is in a position where he is constantly dealing with being yelled at and told what to do and made to do things, or forced to do things that he probably doesn't want to do, And a lot of his letters, he kind of details different experiences to me. And so it just kind of reassures me that, if he can endure all of that, then I can definitely, endure this half of it. One thing that kind of made it a whole lot easier when it came to writing letters was I don't have the time to maybe write a whole essay to him like I wish I could. So I just really kind of bought like a little small notebook, and usually I'll just fill up like a whole front and back page of this every day. And it may not be, I take that back. It may not be a whole page, but sometimes it's just the first page. And I'll just kind of, date it and write my name and just, say, hey, this is what's happening today and this is what's going on. And here's this new song that I listened to and I liked it, and I might print out the lyrics of the song and send them to him. There's been a couple times like I sent him like crossword puzzles. Other times I have sent him little tic-tac-toe games that we can like play with each other, and like I'll do my parts and then I'll send them to him and let him do his, and we just kind of keep sending the same piece of paper back and forth together until we see who wins. I have one thing that I do is I have started going to Walgreens and printing out like maybe 30 pictures at one time. And then I'll only send him like 3 or 4 pictures per envelope. And that definitely really helps me, because that way, I'm not constantly feeling like, oh, I'm behind, I done ran out of pictures, I gotta go get more. I don't necessarily have to send him 50 pictures in one envelope, even though I do know people that do that. I just don't choose to because it exhausts me, it's costly, and at this point from where they are, every little bit is like a slice of heaven, so it doesn't matter if it's a whole bunch or just a little bit. Just hearing from you, seeing your pictures, knowing that you're thinking about them, it's everything. And so I just encourage you, if you are, like I said, if you have a lot of children, and you are working, or vice versa, and you don't really have a lot of time to dedicate to maybe writing a whole lot of writing every day, I just recommend that you just take like maybe some time out of your day, maybe when you're in the bathroom, or sometimes I pull away even while I'm at work. When I say in the bathroom, I mean like in the tub or something. And I'll sit there and write, and it's really kind of therapeutic just to let him know what all happened in my day. If somebody cut me off in traffic and I had a whole moment, in the car, because I have road rage. I tell him about that. If I lost some weight, or I got on the scale today, if I had a cheat day and kind of fell off, I tell him all of these things, so that way I'm not bundling it in and he's not feeling like he's missing out too. One thing that's really important is to just keep your letters positive. I did start to divulge like his address to other family and stuff, so that people could check up on him and let him know that they were okay. And a lot of times what you don't understand is a letter is simply a person just reading words. It's just like a text message, and it's really hard to interpret tone through paper, just as it is with text. So you want to definitely keep your letters positive. We love you, we miss you, we're praying for you. Sometimes that's what all my letters would be, is a prayer. I would pray out loud and like write what I was saying on the paper, because I knew when he would read it, and so it would be like him praying on the inside. And so we did that a lot. I created like a family, what is it? It wasn't like a group chat. It's like a on your phone, when you can like add a whole lot of people into one conversation. And so that way, anytime I got like some mail and he told me something had happened that was funny or interesting, I could like be like, hey, I got a letter from my SIT today, and he says he's doing good, blah blah blah. And so that way everybody felt as though they were involved and active in what was going on. More than anything, you guys, it's just a process. It's not forever. And this is something that's honorable. And so a lot of times, I know that you have those down moments where you miss them, and it's just like, why? And when you need to take a break, you need somebody to lean on, call somebody, reach out to people in your support group. There's actually been a couple of people that I've been able to kind of communicate with, and it's always great talking to family and friends, but nothing's like talking to someone who knows exactly what you're going through. It's really comforting, to know, hey, I'm not the only person that's missing somebody. I'm not the only person that's having, this bad day, or I'm not the only person that's, in this space right now. So just be mindful that, you have your family, your children, your co-workers, your job. You have all of these things to distract you throughout the day, but they don't. So if you can, by any means necessary, just send something once a week. Like I said, I could tell for me, it takes Mill about 3 days for it to get from my location to his. But just because it's gotten there doesn't mean that he's automatically received it. So just give it time. Don't rush the process. Again, if you do get some weird letters from your SIT, just really curious about why haven't they heard from you, just keep writing them. Like, oh, I did see your letter, you worried about me not writing, but I promise you I've been writing. One day you'll get my letters, and then we'll be laughing about this. And then two, it's always a great way to win an argument. Be like, remember when you thought I didn't write you? I was writing you. And then you always win the argument. But yeah, there's so many different situations going on, and so regardless as to how stressed out you feel, just know that somewhere somebody else's situation is a whole lot more complicated than yours. So don't get discouraged. Stay prayed up, stay motivated, and by all means necessary, be blessed, be good, and be you. Bye, guys.